Shut up and sit down.
You know, when you tell people you do triathlons, usually the first question is, have you done the race in Hawaii? So I'm always proud to say, yeah, I have.
Hey, so I heard about your race. It was shit. Try harder next time.
I hate early mornings. I don't want to swim. All right, Instagram, let's do this. Selfie, 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 selfie. Hashtag triathlon, hashtag tri-training, hashtag tri-life, hashtag swimming, hashtag swimmer, hashtag rise and grind.
$900 for a race. Seems totally reasonable.
In triathlon, first you swim, then you bike, and then you run. Out of money. Haha, I crack myself up sometimes. You are listening to the Dialed Podcast with Matt Legrand, Evan Price, Lance Hepler, and Jake Von During. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome back to the Dialed Podcast. I am Jake Von During, and today I'm here with Lance Hepler.
Golden Boy Lance Romance.
Oh my God. Your nickname's just going to go further and further.
Get bigger and bigger.
Eventually, it's going to be like the whole hour-long podcast. It's just Lance. He's like international man of mystery, Lance Romance, Golden Boy.
International man of mystery. We dropped that a little bit ago.
But here's the
we
thing.
got to bring that back.
The hour-long intro to Lance and his nickname could go for quite a while.
Yeah.
Can we break the hour barrier?
I think we need to go back and re-up that thing.
Oh, man.
Give it some new shine and polish. So, all right. We've also got Evan Price.
How's it going? I'm keeping mine short so that Lance can continue to grow with his. There,
So much
that's
room
it.
for growth.
That's it.
And finally, Matt Legrand.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Thanks for asking.
Good.
Excellent.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
great. All right, cool. All right, let's kick into our back pedal. Matt, get us started.
Oh, man. Let's see. Training is going well. It's going swimmingly.
Ooh.
Ba-dum.
How many days a week are you swimming right now?
Yes. Don't forget to tip your waiter. No, I'm swimming. I'm really only swimming like 4 or 5, but it won't be long before I'll switch to 6. And, swimming's going well. Swimming's going really well. I've been swimming with Nate, who's a friend of ours, who is a really good triathlete. He won the Columbia River. Wait, he won the Columbia River Triathlon, and he's just an excellent swimmer.
He is, yeah. He had a very good swim at Santa Cruz.
Yeah,
73.
So basically,
Very
I've been hopping in the water, getting behind him, and just like hanging on for dear life. And then just like we have the Kona Ironman coming up, which is just like. Oh yeah,
Ooh.
Kona Ironman.
Yeah,
The World Championship.
It's
for the full Ironman distance.
I'm super excited.
Geeking out over here.
It's so it's just like I think it kind of inspires you to kind of get in more training or whatever it is, whether that be like get more swimming in or hit the road and get some solid runs in.
This is like that weird time of year too, where a lot of people's season is ending, except like the pros are obviously at their like peak right now.
Yeah.
And over the iron distances, they're at their peak.
I also think there's like a lot of triathlon hoopla, kind of like every day there's something triathlon coming out, whether it's like Kona predictions or this or that, and then there's a whole bunch of product information that's going to come out. And it's just all triathlon all the time.
This is the energy. I mean, this is like our month right here.
This
really is our
This
month.
is a cycling podcast.
Because now
this is
is it though? Is it today?
It's a cycling podcast.
This is a triathlon takeover.
I think this is a triathlon takeover because if you think, I mean, the World Championship for road racing just ended. There's a huge dead period in cycling right now. And this is right when triathlon is heating up. Right now.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah.
Killing me, Small. Yeah, and I think this is like
I suddenly have to go to the bathroom.
Oh no. we don't have much time. We have like this week, the week before Kona, and a little bit like the week after where we all talk about Kona.
Yeah.
But this is it, man. This is prime time triathlon.
And
this is
there's nothing more spectacularly annoying than a bunch of triathletes talking about the World Championship. I love it.
I need a snack.
I can't do this, guys. I'm sorry. I'm out. You guys have fun. All right. We'll see you around.
Oh, this is good. This is
nice.
They're
headphone drop.
They are actually heading out right now.
Drop the mic.
Haven't we actually talked about this before? Just like the me and Matt podcast here,
Oh man, this could get
because they're
ugly.
actually leaving
Could
right now.
get- this
The
could
cat's even leaving with them.
the cat wants nothing to do with triathlon.
The cat's out of triathlon. I think the cat's more of a cycling fan,
All right.
but that's fine. So
This is gonna get interesting or questionable. One or the other.
We are down to a 5-day countdown now to
Okay.
Kona. We are 5 days away from Kona.
Yes.
So there's a couple big things that have definitely happened in the men's field.
Right.
The first one,
Okay.
the biggest thing is Jan Frodeno.
So
out.
so Jan Frodeno, if you guys are on the cycling side of things, like our other hosts that have exited the building,
Literally, actually, they're not sitting here now.
So Jan Frodeno is a world champion who absolutely destroyed the field at the World Half Ironman World Championships. But he has a stress fracture. The picture
Hip,
I saw,
yeah.
hip. Okay.
Yeah.
And I saw him on crutches. A picture
Yeah.
of him on crutches.
Yeah.
And I just thought he was far and away the favorite.
He was. That's a heartbreaking picture right there. Just
know,
a shame for him. Yeah.
It looked to me in the half like there was good competition for him, but in a full, he just has more experience than some of the other guys.
He does.
I just think that he was the guy this
He
year.
was absolute, and just with how strong his bike is right now, he's terrifying if you're anybody else in that field, because he's gonna be top 3 coming out of the water.
You think his bike is strong, but when he ran like a 106 half marathon
Yes.
at that World Championships race, which is ridiculous. I
So
just
fast.
I can't think of any time that I've seen that kind of speed.
I think he's the fastest triathlete over the iron distance ever. There's got to be nobody that can put down that speed ever.
Yeah.
106. That is
That's crazy.
absolutely flying.
It's real running.
Yeah, I mean you're talking about close to Olympic qualifying times for the half distance off the bike.
Well, yeah.
Ballpark. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they don't have the half distance for Olympic trials, but
Trials,
I mean,
yeah.
so you could take that particular number and you could extrapolate it out, and you're looking
the
at
full,
you're definitely looking at an Olympic trials qualifier type time, and just like a straight marathon for sure.
Yeah.
Usually,
But he does have this kind of injury history that follows him. He has in the past had some. I think he has these huge peaks and huge training blocks. And it's just he's always riding that line. He's right on that line.
which I think a lot of pros do ride
Yeah.
that kind of line of like, I'm very close to getting injured, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
pushing some serious training.
especially this time of year. I mean, leading into Kona, these guys are putting out some huge training blocks.
Yeah. Okay,
But yeah.
so now
It
that
opens up the race though.
that's
so
the
a lot to
interesting
talk
part.
about.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. So I did a video about this for my YouTube channel, where I went through women's top 3 and guys top 3.
Yep.
We've kind of chatted about this roughly before.
Yep.
But what are your thoughts? What are your picks?
So
Do you want to talk women's first or men's?
Let's talk women's first, and
Okay.
not because I think that's going to be shorter, but I think the women's race
It's a
is.
little bit more.
I got
predictable.
one pick for the podium that I would love to see happen. I think she'll fall in the 3rd place spot. I love Heather Jackson. She is awesome.
It's as if you've seen my YouTube video. That's who I
Or
picked.
I actually
for
haven't
3rd.
seen that yet either.
No,
Oh,
it's
see,
not.
we're-
It's not out yet. That's
we're
why.
on the, I like it. Okay, so we're actually on the same wavelength with Heather. I like that.
Okay, so my thoughts on Heather Jackson was that she was definitely kind of a dark horse pick for 3rd, even for 3rd.
Yeah,
She's a strong cyclist.
very strong. Yeah,
She's a good runner, but she's going to have a lot to make up on the
and,
swim.
and I think over the full, she has a history of kind of fading on the run. I know
think
it's
it's
been
hard.
tougher, but she had such a great Kona last year that I think she's figured it out.
Yeah.
So
My theory is that she is going to need to basically like run her own race.
Yes.
Like not,
Yes.
she needs to be very careful that
Yeah.
like she doesn't, get wrapped up, because she could be in the front
Yeah.
after the bike because she's such a strong biker.
she's going to need to come off close with who. Okay, so we know who 1 and 2 is.
Let's go to our 1 and 2s, and then
So,
we'll come back and discuss.
This
it.
is where I know we disagree. I think I'm going to be super boring. Danielle Lee's going to win again.
Which I completely agree with.
Yeah.
Again, so actually on our women's side, our 3 picks are the exact same.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because especially only because of the Heather
But
Jackson
that's
thing,
just how
'cause they're-
strong Daniela Reef is right now.
she's-
I
yeah.
mean, she's
I said this in the video. It's like she's kind of a no-brainer. If you
Yeah.
if you pick against her, that's great.
this is back
That's
when Chrissy Wellington was dominating the sport. You were crazy to pick anybody else.
Yep. And I think it's, if our listeners are out there and they're like, yeah, I'm picking someone else, that's great. But they're a long shot and you're going to look like a genius when you're right. But the smart money is
Yeah,
Daniela Reeve.
she's Kona experienced. She's a front group swimmer. Not only a front group swimmer. She's
Yep.
probably a top 3 swimmer right now.
Yeah.
Top 3 to 5 swimmer.
Yeah. The only girl that will get away from her in the swim
Lucy.
is our pick for probably second, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And that's Lucy Charles.
Who also now at 73 Worlds hung with Danielle on the bike.
On the
but
bike. Well,
here's the thing
let's
with
review that because Lucy got out of the water first, and then Daniela Reef, I don't know exactly where she came out of the water, but she probably had to bike up to
I think
Lucy
it was like 3 to 4 minute gap there.
and pass her.
Yeah.
And then Lucy stuck with her. So she's still getting beat in the bike if you look at just the bike time.
Yeah.
But she's hung in there.
She can hang, but
she can hang on the bike.
Danielle would have to have a terrible run for Lucy to beat her right now.
Well, and I will say that Danielle's run is not otherworldly. Like
No, there's that.
She's a good runner.
Oh, what's the woman's name? Hogg, the German.
Oh,
who comes from the ITU world.
Yes, yeah. I can't remember what her name is.
She has the best run in Ironman right now for the women.
Yes, unless we talk about Rennie.
Oh, I like the. So I was going to also mention for top 5. I think Rennie comes back in the top 5.
You think?
Well, I've been watching a lot of her YouTube videos that she does with Talbot.
Yep.
Talbot Cox has a channel. He does this cool little video series called Tim and Rennie.
Well, so they have their own specific channel.
Mm-hmm.
So Tim is married to Rennie, and basically they have their own channel. And I think they hire Talbot to film some stuff.
That's what it is.
Yep. Yep.
Which is just an awesome kind of inside peek at
it is
how they balance family, training, and all of that. And Rennie is really coming back strong this season.
Yeah.
And
I still think I think she's in a tough place.
Yeah.
Coming back from having a kid, I think she's trained really well. I think she won the
she won Augusta,
Georgia, which was just a bike run. So that's going to play in her favor. And also, I just don't think there's a lot of competition there.
Yeah.
So my gut feeling is that she will not be top 5.
Okay.
So I'm glad that we disagree on something.
I'll go. The reason I say is because she has so much experience at Kona. I think that this is, and she decided to train in Kansas in her build-up.
I saw that. Yeah.
There's some success if you've seen people in the past who actually go to the area that they were training in Kansas. Yeah. Very similar, but windy.
Good
out there.
Nice
hot,
and humid. Yep. In the summer.
Hot, windy, reflects Kona pretty well.
So her husband Tim, I know we're not on the guys yet, but her husband Tim is one of my kind of dark horse, I don't know, maybe honorable mentions or something like that, because I think there's no chink in the armor. He's a good runner. He's a good swimmer. He's a good biker.
He's a classic all-rounder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think he's an excellent pick for anybody. I definitely think he'll be my top American pick.
Okay. Ooh, we're going to disagree on that. I like to talk about. So,
well, there was also there was another who was the guy that Ben Hoffman was another guy that I would have potentially picked, but he's got an injury.
Yes, he does.
So he is out of Kona for the year.
Yep. So I've got another American to watch out for, which I think a lot of people have been keeping track of this season. Matty Hansen.
Oh yeah, he's a good runner.
Great runner.
Yeah,
great. And I think he's hitting much better form than he has in the past when he comes into Kona.
Timing wise, you think he'll be okay in the heat?
I think he will because he's.
He did well at Texas. Remember,
I think his home base is Texas. I think so.
Might have been 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know, but still, it's still hot.
He had a bad Kona last year, but I think there's plenty of great guys who have bad Konas come back the next year. I mean, you look at Lionel Sanders is the best example of that.
Yeah. Do you want to switch over to the guys and talk top 3 guys, or do you want to talk about the women's? How we think the women's race will unfold.
This is how I think the women's race is going to be 2 races.
Okay.
I honestly think Daniela and Lucy are head and shoulders above everybody else.
I agree with that.
I think Daniela breaks away from the chase group on the bike, catches Lucy. She's going to drop Lucy this time. It's a long enough bike. It's different than 73. Lucy's going to try to hang, and she's going to get dropped.
I agree with you, except for the fact that they are going to have to catch the lead group. I think they will come out of the water towards the front. There won't be any catching them. It'll just have happened.
Yeah. Lucy, I think will come out with. I know there was one person at 73 who hung with her.
Yeah,
there's maybe one swimmer who can hang with her.
Well, even someone like Sarah True or someone like one of the ITU people. Yeah, I mean they can swim.
Sarah can hang with her. I think.
So,
now the problem is Sarah True does not have the bike strength to hang for 112 miles with a Lucy or Daniela right now.
Yeah, I imagine that there'll be a front pack of swimmers. You might have someone come off the front, like a Lucy Charles come up a little bit off the front, but not a ton of time, less than a minute or two.
Yeah.
And then, they'll establish themselves on the bike, and that'll be lights out for a lot of the people that are, hoping to compete.
See, and this is why I think Heather will come into third, is because I think Heather Jackson will drag a couple people with her, and they're going to try and bridge that gap. Heather
Yeah.
knows she's got to go for it on the bike. That's
think
her strength in Kona.
That's
yeah.
I agree, but that's my fear is that she'll overcook herself,
Overcook,
whether
yeah.
that's on the bike or the beginning of the run.
Yeah.
Just because those girls are so strong, I really do think the race is for third.
Yeah.
I think they're that strong.
And that's the problem with Kona is at the beginning of that run, the first 5K is like through kind of the
Yep,
town.
through town, yeah.
So there's a lot of the crowd pumping them up. And I looked
Yeah.
at the data once of like starting splits for the pros.
Right.
For how smart these people usually race, they race stupid through
run
that
dumb.
first 5K.
Yeah.
They race so dumb. I saw there was numbers. I think one of the years that Matt Lieto or that Chris Lieto
Chris
blew
Lieto, yeah.
up,
Went
he
too
like ran like an 18-minute first 5K.
Yeah.
He was just
I've-
like cooking through, which is way above pace for him or
Yeah.
anybody at that point.
Yeah, I've raced dumb before.
Yeah.
It's
It's
not
tough when the
fun.
crowd's cheering for you and you're coming off the bike there and feeling
And you
good.
feel good.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel good, and you kind of like my philosophy is always like run how you feel, run comfortable.
I'm
like,
with you,
You
yeah.
know, and if those times are 6 flat, then maybe maybe
Gain
it's a
the
little
time
too
now.
much. Maybe it's a little too much. But anyway, I think that those two will establish themselves early. And I just think it's those two, Daniela Reef and Lucy Charles.
Yeah.
And I think Daniela wins on the run.
And I hate being boring with picks,
it's
but I
boring.
think the women's race will be boring this year.
Yeah.
In the sense that I love still watching that race because I really appreciate Danielle Reef. She's
Amazing.
incredible.
Yeah.
And I think watching her now is important because she's going to be doing some pretty incredible things over the next couple of years.
How about guys? What do you think?
So here we go for the men's race because I've got a pretty specific on how this is going to play out.
I think our men's picks will at least be different. Like,
Yeah.
randomly, our women's picks were the exact same. So
Yeah. So for the men's race, well,
Wait,
we'll
we're finally back in the room.
oh they just came
What-
back in.
what's
Hey,
going
guys,
on?
Still
They're
rambling
back,
on here?
They're
We're not-
back to listen.
we're
Hey,
not
we
talking
just-
about- we're not
we
talking about
just got to the
cyclocross,
men's.
guys.
We just got to the men's
We're-
I'm
picks.
leaving again.
It's heating up now. So let's pick our podium
Okay.
and then we'll discuss how the
How we
race
think
is
the race will
going
roll.
to. Yeah.
Okay.
So my podium, I know I'll get an eye roll from here. I think Lionel Sanders is going to win the race.
I actually think that's a good pick. And
Yep.
the only reason I don't pick him is because I don't love his like style.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find it a little bit annoying, but
Yeah.
he is. He's done some things that I think are really good. Like he's gone to Kona early. He's spending extra time in the heat to acclimate. I think that's going to help.
His swim is looking a lot better than last
His
year right
swim
now.
is looking better. His bike is solid. His run is solid. He's running with real runners.
He's been that's I think the biggest change for him this year is that towards closer to Kona, he's been running with Corey Belmore, who is a very,
Yeah.
very fast runner. Yeah.
I think he's an easy person to pick. You're picking him for first.
First, he's going to win the race. Second place is going to be Javier Gomez. He's going to run out of space and not able to chase down Sanders.
Okay.
Third will be Kindly.
Okay.
Sebi is consistent, and the reason he's going to be third, I'll explain later. This is go
Yeah.
ahead, do your picks.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. So, not too far off of yours. I think Patrick Lange is my pick for first.
Okay.
I think that he can swim with anyone. He'll get on the bike. He'll stay steady. He's just like I think that's his game plan. Like that's what he's done in the past.
It's worked for him. Yeah.
He's won in the past. He's been able to ride steady and then get off and set run records. And when you can put 15 minutes into the some of the field on a run, that's a lot of time.
It's a ton of time.
So here's my thought: is I think we'll have him roll through the run and win the race.
Yeah.
And then second place, my pick is Sebastian Kienle.
Second. Okay.
Yeah. And I think he's such a strong biker. He's won the race before. He has the experience. I don't think he's kind of at his prime, but I don't think he's far off at all.
Yeah.
I think he can race smart enough that he can get second. So he just needs to basically like get through the bike where he normally would be, which would be up front, and then run. I think he just needs to run smart.
250 is probably what he's going to have to run.
Yeah.
252, 250.
Which I think he's
capable.
That's what he's capable of. He's not capable of 230.
No.
He's capable of 250.
Yeah.
And then my third pick is Javier Gomez.
Yeah.
And my theory on that is that he'll be up front on the swim. He will probably, if he's smart, he'll bike conservatively. But he could get wrapped up with people pushing off the front or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then if his legs are a little bit cooked, I still think he's so fast running wise compared to some of these other athletes that I think that he will be in the lead of this race for a significant period of time until the legs come off.
Yeah.
And that's where I think he'll fall all the way back to third.
Yeah.
So, when we see like someone like Sebastian Kienle pass Javier Gomez, it's going to give Sebastian Kienle tons of energy.
Yes.
And it's going to just wreck Javier Gomez.
Yeah.
Just spirits wise. Honorable mention for sure. I mentioned earlier Tim O'Donnell.
Yeah.
I think he's just solid all around. I think
Top
he'll
5,
probably-
do you think?
I think so.
Okay.
I kind of hope so.
There's a lot of good Americans right on the cusp right now.
Absolutely.
There's some Americans that I think will be.
Just take some experience. And
It does.
He's been there. He's been. I don't know if this is like his 7th one or something.
A lot,
He's been there, and he's always, one of the top 3 Americans. I would say. Like he's always solid. And then I think Lionel Sanders is excellent. I think what could happen to him is because he will have to make up a little bit of time from the swim. He's definitely going to want to get to the front of the race because he's one of those people that thinks he should win. And my fear is that he'll cook himself on the bike a little bit because you're passing these huge draft packs. And by draft packs, I don't mean that people are illegally drafting, but they're doing like a legal draft.
Yeah.
So he will, when you pass those packs, you have to pass the whole pack.
Yeah.
If you cut in between, then you're automatically drafting and you can serve a drafting penalty or whatever it is. If he serves a drafting penalty, he's going to hammer himself again to get back into the mix, right? So it's like either way, I think he's going to cook his legs in the bike, and then I think he's going to get off and try to run hard. Similar to Javier Gomez, at some point, that's going to be it.
The wheels have to fall off at some point, yeah.
And I think whereas Javier Gomez will hang on, I don't think Lionel Sanders will. I think he'll be walking.
See, this is how. So the reason I think Sanders is going to have some legs for the run is because this year you have Cameron Worth returning on the bike, super cyclist.
Yep.
Kindly's going to be right there with Sanders coming out of the water pretty close to each other.
Possible.
Yeah. And then what's going to happen is this year there's an American, Starkowitz, Andrew Starkowitz, who anybody who's watched Kona should know this guy. Ironman ignores him, but he is one of my favorite athletes of all time. The guy is an absolute champ. He will go out front pack swim, and he's going to put down on that bike he's going to put down a scary time.
He will go hard, for sure.
So the problem for the Langies and the Gomez's of the world is that Worf, Starkowitz don't care at all. They are going to go as hard as they can on that bike and just hope that they can still run at the end, because they know the only way that they're going to win that race is if they get way away from everybody on the bike. So what they're going to do is hammer, which means Sanders and Kindly know that they have to catch them. Once they catch them, they're going to hang on, and that group of 4 is going to put some serious time into the rest of the field. Like there's going to be, if Gomez and Lange don't hang with that group, I bet they lose close to 15 minutes to them.
Right.
15 to 18
which is what
minutes
we think
on that.
Which is kind of what we think they need to do, right?
Which
to
means
be able to,
all that Sanders has to do to win is run a 250, which is what he did last year.
which he can do.
Yep.
Yeah. I just don't know if it, it could play out, in which case they would say, well, this year was a
cyclist year.
Yeah. So it could totally play out that way. So it'll be really cool to watch this race, which it'll come out on Saturday.
Yeah.
I will probably be at a cross country meet watching kids race, and I will probably not get to see a lot of the live stuff.
Yeah.
But they do stream it live if you guys are interested, and they do a good job. They stream the entire race.
Yeah.
And then one of the interviews that we have coming up is Matt Lieto, and he is one of the hosts for the live stream, and he does a really good job.
He does an amazing job for an 8-hour race. That guy can sit there and keep it exciting.
Well,
the
and
whole
it's just
time.
like someone that knows the sport. It's nice to have them chat about it for sure. So
It is.
Yep.
It is. Oh, are they back? I didn't even realize.
Okay.
Yeah, there they are.
Cyclocross talk with Lance Hepler. Lance, how you doing, buddy? Tell us about cyclocross.
You want to hear about some mud?
Knobby
and some
tires?
Knobby tires?
Is there any knobby tires discussed?
No knobby tires.
That was
triathlon takeover.
That was the triathlon takeover right there. And I'll tell you what, I am now very, very excited for this race.
I know, me too.
I'm going to make another prediction. I think that the race is going to come down to like Sanders is only going to win this race by a minute or two. Like when I say Gomez runs out of road, I'm talking like he's going to run out of road by like 800 meters, I think. It's going to be close.
Do we want to bet a coffee or something on this?
Ooh, we should get, What do you think the total gap between first and third is going to be? So the podium gap.
Oh, I think it's going to be significant. Only
You
because
think so?
I think runners are going to be falling off. I think it's going to be like 5 minutes. You think it's going to be short. You think it's going to be tight.
I think the difference between Sanders to Gomez is going to be 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
And I think the difference between Gomez to Kindly is going to be closer to 5 minutes.
Right. Okay.
So I'm fine with that. Like I think once Kindly gets passed by Gomez, he's going to shut off the engine, realizing he's in third. But I really do think, and here's the other thing is those runners, I think running that, so the guys trying to run down Kindly and Sanders, I bet that they're going to be close to Kindly.
How close do you think they'll get to 8 hours?
So
that all
Lange
depends
went
on-
8:01 last year.
It all depends on weather.
Here's
for that.
The heat and the wind.
Yeah. So here's the other thing that I wanted to say here, because this is going to be, since it's going to be a cyclist race,
Okay.
I think they're cutting some serious time off that course record on the bike. Sanders to win has to go under 8, and he's going to do it.
Whoa.
He's going to go 7:59 and change. First ever under 8 at Kona.
That'd be interesting.
I think he has to do it to win.
Nope, not going to happen.
You don't think so?
No. Kienle's going to bail on the run. He's going to drop out on the run. That's what I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I know nothing.
I know nothing.
They're gonna
just
get antsy on the
Just trying
bike.
to trying
There's
to throw something in there.
there's gonna be some serious watts put down on that bike.
Yeah, I
If
think.
if those 4 guys I mentioned earlier are the ones working together, that's a train that nobody can hang on.
Yeah, that's the interesting part is if it becomes a cyclist race, which it has in the past. It's just been a couple years. It's been it's kind of been a runner's race for the past 3-4 years.
It has.
Yeah,
It's been
probably
Sanders
probably
trying.
since Kienle won it in 2014. I'm
Yeah.
guessing. So
Yep.
anyway, we'll see. That'll be interesting. Okay, so that race is Saturday for all of you guys to check
Yep.
out and watch streaming. And we'll do another triathlon takeover, and we will discuss the race afterwards.
Yes.
Or maybe. I don't know. I don't think we can actually pull that off. But triathlon takeover was fun for sure today.
We will try our best.
Recap this for me real quick. The favorites are again one more time.
Well, we
favorite
did
is
our
injured.
picks.
The favorite is injured.
The favorite is
in the men's
injured
race,
in the
yes.
men's race. Do you want to just quickly recap our picks so
So,
that we
yeah.
can take the bets and we can see who actually is awarded coffee? If there's some mix up or whatever, we'll just look at it and make a judgment call over who's
Yeah.
the winner, right?
Exactly.
Okay, was Sebastian Kienle? Is that how you say his name?
Yes,
Yes.
Kienle, yeah. Okay,
Let's get Jake's picks here.
Well, he's the 24% favorite.
Okay.
24%.
Yeah,
Is this
and then-
tryrating.com?
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually.
See, how about that?
So yeah,
Nerd.
look at you. And then Patrick Lang,
Patrick
Lange.
Lenga, whatever. He's a 20% favorite. Then
He's my pick for winning.
Sanders is the one that you don't like, right?
Well,
I like Sanders. Sanders is my pick.
He's picking Lionel Sanders.
He's the 70% favorite.
I like his YouTube channel. I'm not a huge fan. I think he needs to put a shirt on.
I like it. Raw talent. I like it.
Did Tim Don come up in your?
Tim O'Donnell. Yeah.
No, just Don.
Tim
D-O-N.
Don.
Oh,
So-
Tim Don.
so-
Oh, here's the
so-
story we forgot to
yeah.
mention. Yeah.
Tim Don he's an awesome person. He is the Ironman branded world record holder.
Yes, branded because don't for Roth.
Because
has gone faster.
there
Yeah.
are people that are faster than him. But he was extremely fast or is extremely fast. But he had an accident or run-in with a car and broke his neck.
Oofed.
And they actually have this huge video about him, the man with the iron halo.
Yep.
Because he wore the screws into his head for a while. And it was an interesting choice between we think that this will give you a better chance of coming back and actually cycling versus doing some fusing of the I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but he's going to. I think he's back, but I also think
he's racing.
He's
Yeah.
racing, but I do think it's by invitation. I don't think he officially.
I
qualified.
don't think he did either.
But he's
Let
kind of.
me put it this way: if he's in the top 10, that is the
Then he
story
won.
we're talking about
Yeah.
in the takeover
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
that to me is amazing that he would be able to come back and be in the top 10.
He's done okay. I think he's done some races recently, and he's done okay.
He raced the Boston Marathon.
Did he?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I still think he can come back and do some amazing things in the sport. I don't think he's done for good. I just think that that was a bad.
I
that was
just
a
don't know
rough
about his
accident.
swim training. My thing for him is because of that injury, I'm not sure what his swim training's looked like since then.
Yeah, I don't expect him to be in the top 10. That'd be amazing if he was. He's kind of everyone's favorite. I
Oh,
mean, he's a
yeah.
good person, and he had this
You just
horrible
love to see him
accident.
do
Story.
good.
It's
Oh
the
yeah, he's a
story you
great
like.
story.
Yeah.
Absolutely
And, I
cheering
mean,
for him.
I
Yeah.
guarantee you, Ironman will do a sob piece on
Yeah.
him for sure.
Absolutely.
because that's what they do.
That's
So,
what the NBC coverage is all
NBC
about.
It is.
coverage.
It is.
What about Patrick Nilsson?
I don't know.
I mean, no, I don't think that he's even going to make the top 10. Honestly,
7% long shot.
Yeah.
And then let's see here, Brent McMahon.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
He's
so
had some excellent-
Canadian, not American.
Canadian.
Canadian. I'm not going to get that
Canadian.
wrong. So he's done some cool stuff lately. He's also raced some short distance stuff in Super League and been, for an iron distance guy, pretty competitive in that group.
I don't know how he's doing right now currently, but he would totally be a good dark horse pick for sure for podium.
He would be. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very good runner.
And then he was at 4%. And then what about Matt Hansen?
We talked about him.
That's my outside pick for the Americans.
We
I
talked
think he's
about-
going to be the
yeah.
top finishing American.
When you guys stormed off, we talked about him. He's a great runner.
Holds the
excellent-
Ironman record for the marathon in the
Yeah.
run.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a great option for sure. Love to see him do well.
And like I said earlier, the other American, I think Starkowitz will be like,
You think?
top 10 would be his best day,
Okay.
I think. I would love to sit here and say Starkowitz can win this race, but he just hasn't shown that he has the run in Kona yet. But he's going to influence this race more than anybody else who doesn't win the race. He's going to be a huge influencer in this race.
My only question would be like, I know the announcers will write him off a little bit. Like
They do, and I hate that in the past
You'll
when they
hear
write
them
him
say
off.
something like,
Yeah.
"Oh, don't worry about him. He likes to hammer the bike." And my question is, does the rest of the field do the same thing?
So that's why he's going to be the biggest influences, because let's say Worf and Sanders and Kindly are able to get to him.
Right.
That group of 4, like I said, is going to put 15 minutes into people.
But what if they just let him go out front? Like, good luck, buddy. You're on your own.
Sanders isn't going to do that, though. You know, if Sanders sees Starkey out, or knows that Starkey's out there, he's going to try and kill himself to get to him.
Which it just seems like not smart racing to me.
It's not, but Sanders has the engine to. He was only 4 miles away from hanging on against Lange.
Yeah. No. I mean, but I also think that was kind of the race of his life.
That was the race of his life. Yeah.
I have a feeling, Evan, that you're going to eat so many words.
I'm making a lot of bold claims here.
But he may be spot on.
Let's just rehash
You're
my
right.
claims here because if I have to eat these words, I will eat these strong next time.
Absolutely.
Matt Hansen's top American.
Okay.
Starkowitz top 10. The first 4 guys off the bike are Kindly, Worf, Sanders,
Right.
Starkey.
Big predictions, yes.
And Sanders holds on, only wins by a minute, and Kindly holds on for podium.
I mean, if it rolls like this and it happens like this, like we're going to buy you a lottery ticket.
I know. I'm nervous now. I'm nervous.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a really cool race to watch.
And if Daniela Reef doesn't win, that's going to be fun
know.
to talk about because
Yeah,
something happened.
absolutely.
Something happened if she doesn't win.
And she's the class of the field by
Yeah.
far.
She's
By
the
far.
odds-on
yes.
favorite.
You remember
It's
Christy Wellington.
What's her
Yeah, yeah.
what's her percentage?
60%.
That's
The
incredible.
the next-
60%.
The next person is Marina Caffrey. She's at 9%.
Oh, yeah.
she's-
And
Really?
post
I think
How is
baby.
Lucy
Maria-
Charles not number 2 there?
Lucy Charles should
She's
be
number
2.
3.
She's number 3?
Should be.
6%.
So this is probably
Ah.
like well, so Miranda was a 2 or 3 time champion. I think 2 times.
Maybe 3.
No, I think
Anyway.
it's 3. And
I think it's
I
3.
think she had a baby.
Yes.
But she
that's
lost
off
2
last
years.
season.
She lost
Yeah.
before that, though. I mean, so Daniela Reef has won this 3 times. I don't know. Or I'm losing
Rennie's
count, but-
first year that she won was the year that Chrissy Wellington was out.
Yes.
Which I'm not taking anything away from Rennie, but it was kind of like if somebody wins it this year in the men's field because Ferdano's not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Comparable.
No, I think I would like for Miranda to win. I just don't think. So Rennie is a past champion. She's excellent. She seems like an amazing person. She has like videos that you can go check out. I mean, I really think she's an amazing person. I would love for her to do well. Great runner, right? So I got to pull for the runners.
Yeah.
But I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
The
Here's-
bike's gonna be too fast.
Here's the other
Swim's
thing
gonna
that's
be
just
too
an
fast.
interesting point. I've talked to this with my friends. So this is coming from, I'm sitting at a table with 3 people who have children here.
Yeah.
And 1 guy who doesn't have children. I think when you have children, so when you're doing these races and have children, it can give you motivation, but it can also, I think, at times keep you from being really stupid in these races.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be, I mean, to win the world championship, you have to go to a pretty dark place. Like during that race, you're basically completely killing yourself to win that race. And I think when you have kids, maybe you have just a little bit better life perspective where you're like,
You're
is it
too-
worth me
too
being
smart.
crippled
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
week right now? Like, Sanders does not have children.
Yeah.
And is capable of pushing himself to levels that most people I don't think would even want to imagine. So
I
I
think at this professional level, they're willing to go.
You think so?
Pretty deep, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
she doesn't have to walk the next day to like. It's not. I mean, she's
That's
gonna
true.
have. She has babysitters. She has a lot of help with
Yeah.
with kids. The only question would be like, obviously it definitely would affect training, right? Like,
Yeah.
has she trained the same way that she trained 2 years ago?
Yep.
And I don't think that the
Yeah.
answer would be
You just
yes
got
to
more
that.
responsibilities in life.
There's-
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah.
I would definitely agree with that. It can affect your training a lot
Yeah.
more than the in-race
The
scenario. At
in-race
least
and-
for
yeah.
me, I will think about that. Like, what are my kids going to think of me, or do it for my kids, or kind of just like I want to come home and tell them a cool story.
Does
so
give you
I'll
that extra motivation.
bury myself to make that happen, so that when you come home, you can explain to them like, this is what I had to do, and you're thinking about them along the way. But
Yeah.
it definitely can wreak havoc on you during the course of your training week, your training block, or whatever, when you've got a myriad of family things
Yeah.
coming up,
Sleep.
especially with the young ones. So
Yeah. Yeah, and her kid's pretty young too, so
Yep.
Yeah.
One year's about a year old or so, something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe a year and a little bit. So, all right. So so that's Triathlon Takeover, and we will definitely report back when I have my coffee in hand with my victory coffee.
I'm getting Matt's edition. Matt will be pouring my coffee this time next week.
Yes.
Too many bold claims.
It
I'm
could
going to be
happen.
in trouble.
It could happen, but it'll definitely be fun.
All right. So for some of you out there, you're welcome. For the other parts of you, we're sorry.
There will be plenty of good cycling podcasts coming up.
No, it was all good fun though, guys. Appreciate you doing that. Anything else?
Let's wrap it up.
We're good.
All right. Well, from the boys sitting here at the table, even you, Lance, and me, myself.
Golden boy out.
Out. Microphone drop.
You guys all have a good one, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Bye for now.